What is SSTV? Well, it's an image transmission mode using audio tones. It's very similar to like a fax machine. And it basically sends back these small postage stamp size pictures that range anywhere from 120 by 120 up to about 320 by 256. The times vary depending on what mode. If you're in a contest mode, it could be a matter of 10 seconds. If sending a really grainy black and white crap picture, or if you guys are, on a repeater like we were last night, we were using some better modes last night and actually sending some pretty nice looking pictures back and forth over the repeater until it started going I don't know what's wrong with that repeater down there in Estero. I don't know. It must be a big frog down there that makes that noise all the time. But anyway, it takes up 3 kilohertz of bandwidth. That's why SSTV actually operates in the sideband modes. And when you're looking at this on the waterfall, it's a little different than FT8, but kind of the same. You know how on FT8 and on the other modes, we put our cursor somewhere so that we don't walk on somebody else's transmission. Well, this is the same way. We just got to be really particular here to go in 3 kilobyte swaths. Okay. SSTV has been around since 1958. It started out with surplus radar display tubes. What they would do is they would actually shoot light on this material, this phosphorus material, that would actually show the light over a period of time so that the image could be recorded. And that's really cool. And then they would use spot scanners to record that into a tape, which could be stored and then could be somehow displayed later. Crazy stuff if you ask me. And then here's a little bit of it. I don't want to get too deep into this, but this is kind of the history of it. It was first commercially available in 75. In 76, they made the first one that was actually combined in the same unit that would transmit and receive. And in 78, the first color and high resolution one started coming out. But the really big stuff didn't happen until 1995, when SSTV was available for the first time in a program called Charlie on Windows. And that's when it finally became actually popular, because you didn't need a special piece of equipment just to do this. And then, of course, Windows 95 and Windows 98 software came out, and then a later version came out of that. Slow scan is sending an audio signal with the information embedded. Like I said, it's similar to a fax. It's for fast scan. Now, when we talk about TV, I know you're thinking, why do we call it TV? Well, why do we call phone phone? It's not a phone. It's one of those weird things. It's tradition. It's what it's called. It's a version of TV. It's a slow scan television. When you talk about regular television, or what we call today television, broadcast television, that's broadcast over a much wider swath of bandwidth. And it's done much differently. Tonight we'll be talking only about slow scan TV. All right, I'm going to fly through this. You know how in ham radio there's always the etiquette that they tell you to do, and then there's the etiquette that everybody does? Well, this is one of those double stories here. The etiquette is, and this is the etiquette. The etiquette is you're supposed to get on there like phone and call somebody and ask them, hey, you want my picture? And then you send the picture to them. And then you say, okay, did you get my picture? Okay, it looks great. All right, I'll send you another one. Okay, here it comes. And then you send it back. That seems kind of contrary to calling CQ to me, but that's how you do it. So basically, it's kind of like phone with pictures. I've also been told by 5 people so far, oh, that's not how you do it. That's all a bunch of crap. Nobody does it that way. So I'm letting you know this is the way that it says to do it, that ARRL and the official sources out there, if there is such a thing, say this is what you're supposed to do. But I'm not going to come out and be the Karen here and tell you this is how you got to do it, because I hear it's not done this way. So I'm just telling you that's the way that it's supposed to be done. Apparently, you're supposed to, like you would any, CQ into a conversation, and then ask if you want to do the TV back and forth. And of course, you would go to the right frequencies, and we'll get to that in just a minute. These are your main 3 calling frequencies there. There's 3 of them. We're going to get to more of them here in just a minute. When you do send a picture, make sure, like you said, the three kilohertz spacing, and be original about your pictures. Um, you know, there's a lot of rules of thumb on this. There's a lot of people that send cartoon pictures, a lot of people that send vintage pictures. I've seen a wide range of pictures. Okay. And all I can say is be creative. There's no wrong pictures unless they're pornography. Those are wrong pictures. Other than that, everything else is fair game pretty much. I haven't heard of like any licensing problems or anything. Everybody sends back pictures of The Simpsons and South Park and everything else. There's been a lot of pictures this last week of Statue of Liberty and flags, and I've been picking up. I leave my radio sometimes overnight on 20 meters or 40 meters, and every now and then I'll wake up in the morning and get a few pictures. So you can do that too, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. Here's your freaks. You got to go to the right frequencies to find folks. Remember what I always tell you guys: if you want to play with friends, you got to go to a room that have people in it. And that's kind of what we got here. You got to find people. I know with 14.230, I've never heard anybody on 233, but that's kind of where you take somebody to. Like if you call somebody, you're supposed to call somebody on 30 and say, "Hey man, you want to send pictures? Hey, yeah, sounds like fun. Let's go to 33." That's how I understand it. All right, Joseph, anything so far?
Yeah, it's just that I haven't heard of anybody. In general, they just kind of stick to the calling frequency, and if you just leave your radio running overnight, you may discover you have a string of 4 or 5 pictures of the same people calling back and forth to each other, which is pretty cool. They'll have like a little preview of the received picture, giving each other signal reports and stuff. So the main frequencies are the calling frequencies, and it seems everybody pretty much sticks to that. So yeah, pop your radio on that and just let it run overnight. You'll probably have something in the morning.
Yeah, and you can do that if you want to play with this and just literally you just literally, oh crap, I picked the wrong one. Hold on. If you just want to play with it and see what you can get, what you can do is you can download the device on your phone, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute. Hold on, I got to switch audio here. Can you guys? I don't think that's right.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, except there we go. Okay, now I got you. All right. Had to do it another way. Couldn't do it that way no more. Okay, there we go. All right. I couldn't hear you. I can't, when I do it that way, I can hear myself in the mix minus, but then I can't hear you guys that well, and it's just not working. And everything's echoey and it's trashy. All right. Does anybody have any questions for either one of us or anything up till now that we can discuss?
Is my audio echoey?
Are you guys hearing an echo with him as well, or is it just me?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, we're hearing echo.
Are you running 2 versions of this at the same time? I had that happen to me. I had 2 versions of Zoom up, and I had the double voice.
Yeah,
no, that's so weird.
You're coming in real hot. You might want to turn your mic down a little bit.
It's almost like there's 2 instances running. That could,
Hold on. Okay. Is it still happening after I turn that off?
Yes.
What?
It's almost as if you're listening to yourself through your sound card.
That shouldn't be happening.
Oh, it's gone away now.
I unplugged the webcam.
Okay, so you're getting audio from your webcam.
It should have been only the mic. All right, well, I'll just leave that unplugged then. Worry about that later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're doing most of this on Zoom anyway. All right, back to the frequencies. Did you want to tell us something about that? Go ahead.
Yeah, just that if you pop your radio on one of these frequencies, I've noticed that 14.230 has been the most active in the hours of around 10 a.m. and in the evening around 9 to 10 p.m. The other frequencies, not so much. I've monitored 40 meters. I've monitored 80. I've monitored all of them, and I've only really gotten pictures from 14 meters in the morning, early afternoon hours and the late afternoon hours on 20 meters. I have gotten a picture on 80 meters, but there was nothing. I let it run all night and I got nothing. But 20 meters actually is pretty active. If you have your antenna up and you turn on the software, I get like almost a picture every minute parked on 20 meters during around 11:10 p.m. Sorry, 11:10 a.m. So yeah, 14 megahertz seems to be where it's at for SSTV right now.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. For the last week, I've had this running a lot in the shack, so I could tell you guys, you know, what I was able to hear. The only pictures I was able to get off HF were on 14.230. I left it overnight on 40. I left it overnight on 80. I got nothing. I left it overnight on 14.230. I wake up, I've got some grainy pictures to look at. So that's it. I haven't tried 1510 or 2 overnight or anything like that. When the Magic Band opened up, I actually tried on the one for 6 meters. There's actually a frequency for 6, but I didn't hear anything on there. All right, let's see here. A little more about the frequencies. You can see there that there's different calling frequencies for each one. There's a couple of frequencies they want you to stay off of. I don't understand that, but there's a DX phone net on 14.227 that they made a big deal about on 2 or 3 different websites I went to. And just remember that 80% of all SSTV traffic is done on these frequencies. If you go there, don't like go up halfway. Go all the way on 3 kilohertz spacing. Anyway, that's all there is there. There's your program. If you guys have not done this, that's your program. It's MMSSTV space download. That's all you have to type or download, whatever. Boom, it'll come up. Download it. It's free. Everybody got that? Okay. Real quick, I'm going to run through this. I want you guys to see this. I'm going to go real quick through this because you can go back and play this over again in YouTube as much as you want. There's also better tutorials, I'm going to admit it, on YouTube that probably go more into depth than I'm going to go tonight. So anyway, when you first get this thing, this is how you find your main setting screen. I don't know if you've noticed, every one of these programs hides the main setting screen under a different tab and under a different name. Thank you, developers. What the hell? I mean, why can't it just be under Windows and then settings or something simple like that? But it's not. Under this one, it's under options because it's an option on this program. And then you go to setup MMSSTV and you click that, and it'll bring up this dialog screen. Everything you pretty much need to set up is on that one square, 3 tabs. That's it. You're going to select the TX tab. You're going to fill in your call sign. Click on CW to permit identification. You want to do that. That sends your little identifier after your picture and technically makes it legal if you're not using voice, I guess, is what I'm told. Use default settings for everything else. That's pretty much it. Click OK when you're done. There's just not a lot to do. Now, when you get in here, over here on the left is your main window. This is either your window where you're receiving, you're looking through what you've received, you're transmitting, or you're setting up a transmit template. So whatever tab you're on here is what this window is doing. And when you click these tabs, these buttons down here will change because you're doing different things. In the middle here is your mode selection. You can right click on one of these and reassign it. There's actually about 30 or 40 different modes. You can right click on any of these modes that you don't want anymore and reassign that button to a different mode. It's pretty cool. Over here's your waterfall. Works pretty much like a standard waterfall, except it's so small and it sucks. Hey, I tell it like it is, dude. You know what I mean? BW, there's for contests, there's some black and white modes for contests that go really, really fast. And like I said, there's some higher definition modes. You can put the QSO information in here. If the other person turned on that identifier that I just told you about, this will fill in automatically. If they didn't, then you'll need to put their information in here, at least their call sign, so that you can log them down, so that it will, log in your logbook. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, at the bottom there is where your pictures go, where your templates go, and I'll show you all that here in just a minute. All right, real quick going on. You're going to listen patiently for a distinctive sound. You'll hear the sound come up, and then the scope will help you center it. If you're centered on 3 kilohertz spacing, it should, if you're on the right frequency on your radio, it should be okay the way it is. Anyway, the image will appear. The moment you get a lock, this bar right here will turn green, and it will stay green as long as you've got a lock. It'll be gray when you don't have a lock. Okay. When you're here in this screen here, this is where you would select your picture. You got something, Joseph?
I do not.
Oh, okay. All right. Does somebody have something? Want me to stop? Okay, I'm going to show you a little more detail in a minute. Use the sliders here. You can click this button right here. This just shows you can click that button, and you can adjust the picture. You can bring up the contrast and the sharpness, and then you click OK when you're done. And then lastly, you can go to your template tab, and you can move around these things so that they'll fit around whatever's in your picture and make your picture and your template match. And that's how that works. They're a little more complicated if you want to start changing the words around in your template. There's a way to do that, and that's all right here. Under text and colors, you would click those buttons there to get to that. I'm not going to get into it too much because that's something you just need to play with. A signal report, we're all used to that, right? Everybody's 5'9". 9. I've never understood why when we're contesting, everybody's 5'9". But anyway, in SSTV, there's your signal strength is 5'9", and then your video is a 5-point scale as well. So it's 595 is a perfect picture. All right, SSTV is a pretty high duty cycle. You got to remember, if you're selecting a 2-minute picture, your transmitter's running for 2 minutes. So you may want to watch your heat. You want that CW identifier after your picture. I showed you how to do that. Cut power. Remember, with digital modes, you do not want to send too much audio volume into your radio, okay? Too much is just as bad as not enough with digital modes. It's not like the CB where if you just yell louder, they'll hear you. Do not use audio compression at all. Turn it off on your radio. You'll get better results with no audio compression. You want your computer to hear as raw a signal as you can get. Listen and be patient. You got to do that's with anything except FT8. SSTV contests are listed in QST. You can find those anywhere you find your contests. I haven't done one yet. I'm going to try one though. And of course, if you're contesting, you want to use one of those quick modes. Okay, does anybody, Joseph or anybody, have anything at this point?
I do not.
Just want to mention SSTV this is for everybody out there. This would be a great thing to get people interested. Next time we do a youth group or scouts or something, you know, instead of just talking, we need to send SSTV pictures back and forth to somebody. Let me tell you what, to a kid, this has got to be more interesting than you talking to somebody on your desk mic. So I'm just I'm throwing it out there, guys, because I'm always looking for ways to get more people in the hobby. I don't care. 8 to 80, walks, wiggles, or crawls. We got to get them in here. So I'm just trying to figure out some way to get it. And I'm thinking if they're young, a visual medium matched with an audio medium, hey, can't go wrong with that. You know. I could go on, but I won't. Okay. Anyway, but you see it all there. I think it would be a great thing. There's an app. Do we know the name of it, or is there more than one? Is that why I don't really have a name?
On the iPhone, if you just go into the App Store and search SSTV, there's an app in there that looks like a TV calibration, you know, with the colors and stuff when there's no signal. And the app name is just SSTV. As far as I know, it costs like $5, I think, on the phone. That's on iPhone. For Android, there's an app called Robot 32, I think, or Robot 36. It's literally named after a mode, but so there's an app for Android. It's called Robot 36, and that's how you get it. And you could just hold the the app is called Robot 36 on the Android Play Store. You just hold your phone microphone near the radio speaker, and these apps usually operate pretty good with automatic mode selection, and they can even transmit too. So you could take a picture and then hold your phone speaker right up to your radio microphone, and then just use that if you don't want to set up a computer application. So yeah, there's one for both iOS and Android, and they work pretty well. I have both of them, and I've used them, and they work pretty good.
I want to clarify, guys. You don't need your radio hooked up to your computer to do this. If you want to play with it right now, tonight, tune your radio to 145 500. We're going to be doing a demonstration here in just a few minutes between North Fort Myers and Buckingham. We're on the Omni antennas. You guys should be able to pick us up. If you've got the program or the app, put the app up to the radio speaker. If you've got the program, turn the program on and get it ready. And we'll be coming back to that in just a few minutes. That's 145 500 simplex no tone. And by the way, that is the SSTV calling frequency for 2 meters. It'll be on FM too, by the way. All right. Get involved. I found a great bunch of guys last night. Didn't we, Joseph?
Sure, we did. Yeah.
They were great. They helped us get started. I told the guy, I said, look, I'm not going to take up your time with FL Digi because I don't know how to use it. He goes, go up to the top, click these 2 buttons, go down here, click this button, go down here, click this, put your call sign in there. Now type something. I'm like, okay. And I was working it. It was great. So like literally he taught me FL Digi in 1 repeater cycle on the radio. So not a bad learning curve. So we're going to do that next week. So that's FL Digi. But on that net, I don't know if it has a name or if it's affiliated with a club. I don't know much about it. I probably should have asked these guys. But the guy that runs it is Mark, AC4Z Mike. And he's a great guy. They were all real nice, very helpful on there. We sent pictures back and forth. We would all see each other's pictures. Other than that repeater down there, the 820 repeater has this horrible noise that starts inexplicably. I think it's interference from the other coast, if I had to guess. Because if you go and listen to it with an open PL, with a big antenna, and you face it over towards West Palm, you can hear another station. So I'm afraid it's probably interference. Anyway, let's not talk about that. This net is on at 8 o'clock on Thursday nights. They start out with FT Digi. They send a couple messages. Everybody sends them around. You can do preform messages. You can send ICS forms. You can do however you want to do it to practice. It's a practice net. And then they switch over to SSTV, and each person talks on the voice and says, okay, you're ready for mine. Okay, here it goes. Boom. And they send their picture. Okay, I got your picture. Okay, next person. And they go around. Great net. I just want to say it's great to find another group of guys that we can interact with every week and practice with some different modes and do some different things. So I'll try to get more information on this net and talk about it again here in the next few weeks. But like I said, at first blush, I'll be going back. It was a great net. SSTV from the ISS. I starting to sound like the GOV with all these acronyms. You know what I mean? But anyway, if you're interested, the SSTV, actually from time to time, and we'll be talking about one of those times here in just a minute, won't we, John? But from time to time, the SSTV, actually, the ISS, I'm getting my acronyms mixed up. The ISS will actually send down SSTV. I believe they do it through one of the Russian guys does it, or transmitters or whatever. But they send down images, and as it flies over, all you have to do is be monitoring this frequency, and I believe it's 2 meters, and you can hear these signals. There's nothing. They're broadcast to the amateurs, so there's nothing special about them. You should be able to get them no problem. From what I understand, if you got a decent Omni that's up 20 feet or so, you should be able to get this every time it goes over. You should be able to get a picture or 3. So this is something, again, that we all can do. is actually do it. You can actually record it. Let's say I do this on a computer, but I'm using it for something else. You can literally record the image as the space station goes over and then play it back into your computer later and get the image. So that's kind of cool. You don't have to actually do it live. You can record it and then play it back later for your computer. You can use a handy talkie to receive this. You're going to need a decent antenna hooked up to it, but you can use a handy talkie. Do what?
Funny thing was, last time the International Space Station was doing their pictures, I was out in the front yard with a beam I had constructed to get these pictures, and I had my Baofeng handheld with a stock antenna sitting on the ground, like in the dirt, just sitting there. And as the station came up overhead, I got a loud signal coming out of the handheld, and I actually had to turn it off because I couldn't tell how good my main signal was doing on the beam because the handheld had such a good signal as well. So
wow.
Yeah, you can use just a normal old handheld, you know, if you got a balcony or something, or you can, you don't even need a ladder. You just stand in your yard, and yeah, a handheld picks it up fine. You can just hold your phone up to it. It's surprisingly easy to get that signal from the International Space Station.
The best way to do it is with your software-defined radio for $27 from Amazon, and we'll discuss that here in just a few minutes. But first, John sent me an email yesterday and informed me of this, and I'm so glad that he did, because you know what? This is going on right now. It starts in just a few days on the 21st, in 3 days. The International Space Station is going to start broadcasting pictures down to us on I shouldn't use the B word. They're sending images down to us on amateur radio, and we'll be able to pick them up on 145 800 in FM. And it uses a mode that your SSTV will decode. So if you download this and it's working, and you and somebody can send pictures back and forth, all you now have to do is just tune your damn radio into that frequency, and you get these pictures from the ISS. It really is that simple. That's what's really cool about this. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this so far? Okay. Either I'm doing a really good job or you're all asleep. All right, tracking the ISS. Well, you got to know where it is, okay? So this is a pretty good program. There's a bunch of different sites. But this one, they have a program you can download, or you can use it online. But this is the one I found that I use. But there's also a bunch of other ones out there. So just go pick and find one if you don't like this one. This one, just put in AMSAT ISS, and it will come up first in your search results. You don't need to download anything. You can use it right online. And you know what's neat about this one? You don't even have to know your Latin lawn. You can put in your grid. If you know your grid from contesting, you can just put that in. I thought that was pretty convenient. Anyway, all right. Wow, are we there already? Okay. So we're going to do a live demonstration now on 145 500. So if there's anybody, if you're within 20 miles or so of North Fort Myers or Buckingham, and we're going to actually send back and forth a couple of pictures to show you guys how to do this. All right.
Hey,
So, yeah.
just a quick comment. You know, you really don't have to track the space station. You know, I just leave my radio on and the software on when I go to work or when I go to bed, and turn the volume down, and I get home or get up in the morning, and voila, I have pictures.
There you go. You're absolutely correct. I'm just OCD like that. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. You could literally have software-defined radios listening to different channels, collecting pictures from different ways and different places all at the same time. It's pretty neat. I like SSTV because you're not broadcasting anything, you're just receiving, and it'll sit there and do it all night long. And then when you get up, those pictures are all stacked there, and you can look through them. It's kind of like really cool. All right, so let's let me switch this here. All right, this is the program. This is MMSSTV, and if you don't have it, download it. I'll tell you how simple this is. You can download this into your computer and literally take your microphone from your computer and hold it up to the speaker on the radio and vice versa. And I know that's cumbersome and a pain in the butt, but you actually could do this way, what I call the acoustic couple. And it works. There obviously will be a little more artifact in the picture, but it will still be readable. It'll still be good, and you can still participate. That's the main thing. All right, so you can right-click on your screen here. There's a bunch of menu items right there. Joseph, wasn't there something we had to do right here? We wanted to go ahead and click that auto stop.
Auto resync should be turned on, and auto slant adjustment should be turned on, and auto stop should be turned off.
Right. You guys see that? When it comes, this is not the way it comes from the factory. So you want to set it to this way here. Auto stop. If the signal gets broken for a moment, the picture will give up. And you don't want that. You want it to keep trying through the end of the picture. So you want to turn that off. Auto restart, auto resync, and auto slant adjustment. You want all those on. And then pretty much everything else is default, I think, on there. This is how you can, if you want to clear your picture, you can clear it with that. Notice I got my tabs up here. These are basically my action tabs for that square. What do I want to do with this square? If I want to see what I'm receiving, I leave it in RX. If I want to see a history of what I received, I can go here and I can scroll back and I can look at the different pictures that I've received. These were the ones I got last night off the net. These are some that came in. There's one from KC4RAC and WG4K. And there's one from the Statue of Liberty. You can see people send all kinds of different stuff. There's the Statue of Liberty's foot. Yeah. But I got all kinds of ones in here. There's a bunch of ones that we did sending stuff back and forth. That's a Porta John, just in case. But anyway, there you go. These are some ones I picked up like overnight in the middle of the night. This is what they look like. Some of them are really bad. I can't even tell what they are. That looks like a mullet, but I can't tell for sure. But yeah, these are the ones I'm getting in the middle of the night. Good luck figuring these out. There's some other ones here. There's one Joseph sent me. That's his new bicycle he just got right there. But yeah, just to give you an idea of what some people have sent, you know. And then your TX button, this is where you put together your picture. So what I would do is I go down here to these tabs and I select the picture that I want to send. Let's say I want to send a picture of something, okay? I picked the Enterprise, so I'm going to click that. These are some pictures I took at the Smithsonian of the actual model from the 60s TV show that was actually used in the shooting. And it's the only ship or spacecraft in the Smithsonian Museum, Air and Space Museum, that's not real. Then you click your template tab. See right there? There's your templates. Boom. And you pick which template you want. If I want this one, I can pick a template. Notice these pictures that are in the template? These are really cool. These actually will put in the last picture you received. Now, I want to show you guys a little funny thing I did with that. I took a picture of my cat, Snotties, right? And then that was her working on the quick reference guide. And then I take this template and I replace the screen with the last picture that I received. Isn't that cool? So I can select whatever picture I select here. Okay, I can select that picture. And then when I go back to here, it puts that picture in there. So if you send me a picture, and we're going to do this in just a minute, it'll send you back that picture. So I'm going to send him this picture right now. It's ready to go. I've got everything I need on it. So all I got to do now is click TX And then, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Anybody at home, if you're within range, you should also hear this. I am at 90 watts, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. And I'm doing this in Robot 36. Notice when you do Robot 36, it kind of chopped the top of the image off. I don't like that, but it does do that. Notice the line going down. The line tells you what is actually going out.
Nothing
Huh?
is going out. Nothing is going out. I'm not getting any signal.
Oh yeah, it's not. Oh crap. Who knows?
You're not transmitting.
Likewise, I'm not receiving you, Ian, and boy, I should be.
Yeah, he's not. You're not transmitting.
Whatever. No matter how much I test something, it doesn't work when I need it. Hold on.
Make sure you
That's weird. It's like it's not even trying. All right, why don't let me turn that off for a second. Why don't you send a picture out so they can see that, and then I will, while you're doing that, I'll reset my sound card.
All right. I'm going to be transmitting in Scotty 1 as my mode. So here we go. I have keyed up, and I should be transmitting.
Yep, I'm receiving.
Perfect.
It really doesn't matter if I transmit. It's just so they can see you sending something to me. They can't see what I'm sending to you anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, I want you guys to notice that my signal level's a little low, but it's not really.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not making any difference, so I'm not going to mess with it. But notice right here, the green indicates that we have a signal lock. And as long as that stays green, we are receiving, that we're locked in with that image. Is there anybody else that's able to receive that?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
I'm not, but you stop breaking my squelch here. So,
I'm running 35 watts. I'm on high power. Oh no, it stopped. Why did it stop? Don't know what happened there. There's a little bit of noise in that.
Yeah, that's probably on my end. Yeah, that's on my end.
It's gone.
No, that's on my. I did that. I'm trying to switch my radio around here.
Oh. Well, there you have it. That was one image.
Yeah, I'm just not going to send anything because I don't want to screw. Yeah, that got screwed up because I was messing with wires. So that was my fault. So why don't you send another one here?
Okay.
Now I want you guys to notice while he's sending that, I'm going to show you guys something. These are the different modes. You got robot, you got black and white 8. I put that in there. Let me show you how I did that. There was something else in here, and I forget what it was. And
hey man, when I key up, you're not getting it. You're not connected to your radio. Look at the waterfall. It looks all choppy. It means you're not getting.
I was receiving you, Joseph.
I know. I wanted to stop it though and restart it so we can get a full picture this time.
oh boy. I'm still connected. I don't understand what's going on here. You know what I probably have to do? I'm going to tell you guys, this is a good thing right here. A lot of times with WSJTX, and also with this program, and I'm sure with some of the others, it will start just not doing something, and you just restart it before you even start. Like, I can't figure it out. Before you do anything else, just restart it first, and then go from
This is
there.
a problem with your sound input, though. Cause see how the waterfall looks all weird? There we go. Now you look like you're getting
Yeah, I mean,
something
it's hooked to
better.
my it's hooked to my radio.
If I key up, the noise floor should. Yeah, see, I think it's working now. Okay, let me try transmitting. There we go. Ooh, it looks really grainy though. Why does it look so grainy? Wow, why does it look so bad all of a sudden? Oh, did you switch
Because you're
antennas?
talking and you're using the same sound card.
Same
I'm
sound
not.
card.
That's not me.
I'm hearing you on the radio.
You're hearing my voice?
Yes.
Okay.
That's probably where some of that artifact's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, my setup's not the best.
Whose is?
It could be a lot better.
Yeah. Somebody's been driving the whole time. Greg.
Yeah, he's on his way home.
Let's see here. Yep, we're getting it. There is definitely some this noise in it this time though. But let's not worry about that. The main thing is you guys can see how it works. We're testing it out. We're letting people test it at home. That's the main thing. This entire section here is dedicated to logging your QSO. But I want you to notice down here when I'm making a message, like if I want to use this template, whatever's here is going to be in the template. So if I type if I type whatever here, okay, and then hit enter, that will be what ends up in the template when you pull up the template. See, it says here. You guys see what I'm saying? Now, if you receive an image from somebody and they've got their CW telemetry turned on, that should auto-populate, and we tested it and it worked for us. Okay, I'm gonna let this. I'm not gonna touch this because I want to see if when it gets done, I want to see if it will auto-populate his call sign in there. It should.
I'm not sending this one. This is yeah, I'm not sending this to somebody else. I'm receiving it though.
Well, that's good. I want you guys to. This is good because you can hear what FT8 sounds like.
FT8?
Or yeah, whatever it is. SSTV.
Where'd you find this guy, Joseph?
Hey, I've only been doing this a year. Give me a break. I'm a new guy. Oh, and in SSTV, if your letters aren't colorful, you suck. Your letters have to be like overtly colorful or something's wrong with you. That's nice. Fall picture there. I love the fall color and I love the snow. You can tell I'm a Florida boy. I was going to say that's probably John's motorcycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Figured as much.
See, if you put your call sign at the bottom, then they got to kind of guess until it gets down there who you are.
There was a method to my madness.
Yeah.
See, I think MMSSTV also detects the call sign from the actual image because mine filled in with your and the call box. It filled in AA4JS before you sent your Morse code identifier.
Mine
So
didn't.
Right,
I
it
don't
does.
know.
If you'll notice, your call sign is up at the top. I didn't put that. It self-populated that because you sent the last image.
Well, I also sent, see, you can turn on the Morse code identifier, and that's
Right.
what I have on, but I think it also does something else besides the Morse code identifier, because it'll fill out before you're finished sending the image. And it only sends that Morse code at the end of the image. So
Right.
it must encode it in the image
It's an
somehow.
encoding of the picture itself.
Yeah, it must be. That's pretty cool.
We're going to talk about software-defined radios in the next segment. I want you guys to understand something. Everything we're going to talk about there applies to this too. You can use a software-defined radio plugged into your computer. We're going to show you in a few minutes how you can pipe that sound right back into your computer again, into this program. And you can leave your computer hooked up to your big antenna overnight, receiving without having to leave your big radio on or something like that. So I've got another one coming. They're $27, and I'm going to be switching everything. The Broadcastify feeds, I think, are going to end up getting switched over to those. And anyway, we're going to talk about those in a few minutes. All right. Does anybody have any questions on where we're at here on this SSTV? Does anybody have any questions that I can answer for you, or that Joseph can answer for you? All right. Well, let me leave you with this, and then we're going to move directly on to the next segment. I don't even take breaks in this show. I just go right on. Basically, I found this to be very, very easy to use. There's no learning curve. You don't have to be Windows savvy. If you can just do basic stuff on Windows, you can figure this out. You don't have to make fancy templates. You can use it just like it is. Now, of course, the more you use it, the more you'll want to fancy it up. But it's so easy to just come in here and you want to transmit. You go in here, you just go through and pick you a picture of what you want to do, and then you go through and you pick you a template. If you don't like where the pictures are on the template, you can move those around. It's really simple. And then when you're done, you hit send and you're sending them a picture. I think it's the coolest thing since peanut butter. I really do. And it's a lot of fun. And if you get it up between now and Thursday night, you can join us on the 820, or as I call it, the computer or repeater. But you can join us there, and we'll send pictures that have these ugly lines through the middle, back and forth. All right. I guess that's it on SSTV, guys. Get it ready. You got, 3 days till the ISS starts sending it over. And again, it's something you can literally leave a Baofeng outside where the antenna's outside, and have your phone sitting next to it with that app and receive images from the space station. It doesn't take any special anything. Okay.
And the app is actually free on Android. It costs, I think it either costs $1 or $5 on the Apple devices. But on Android, the Robot 36 app is actually free. So I definitely recommend getting that, because you never know when you'll be listening to the net or something and they start sending out SSTV. That happened to me one time. It's a very good app.
I like the SSTV. It's fun. It's great. And I haven't tried the app yet, but I'm going to, because what I'm thinking about doing is using the app and hook it directly to a receiver directly into an old phone that has the app in it, and they can sit there and collect pictures, and it doesn't take up any of my computers or equipment. All right, there you go. That's that.